Good evening, everyone. A warm welcome on behalf of Diabetes Awareness and Beauty to all the audiences who are always with us. And today we have another session of Dietitian Update Program. And today's topic is Purchase to Plate, how food labels can shape today's dietary habit. So this is a very relevant and insightful topic, especially in today's world where making informed food choices is very essential for better health. Uh, Today we are truly honored to welcome Dr. Snehashree Saha ma'am. She is currently serving as an assistant professor, Department of Food and Nutrition, Udaynarayanpur Madhavilata Mahavidyalaya. She has over 13 years of professional experience and she has previously worked as a ICM at GRF. Um, Her PhD research focused on intervention among adolescents using food label education to form healthier food choices. Dr. Saha has received several recognition, including the best NSI, including the NSI Best Paper Award 2015, Best Poster Award 2016 and 17, and prestigious research grants such as the UGC grant for ACN Japan to, 2015, SARB grant for ICN Argentina 2017, and UGC minor grant on geriatric health. She has also collaborated with ICMR on research related to font of pack labeling and consumer acceptance. We are extremely pleased to have you, ma'am. Please enlighten us today's session. Thank you.
Thank you for the kind words. Just confirm me whether I am visible, audible, and my screen
Yes,
is
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
visible to everyone. Thank you. Those are really kind words. I'm not sure ki it's just one day before I think Kali Puja and Diwali, and how many people are gonna tune in and listen. But let's just hope for best because today is a remarkable day. Today the entire social media is flooding with a win related to label that ORS to ORSL. So that also shows and reinforces the idea to talk about label more. And if not now, then when? So we would be going with this purchase of two plate, how food level can help dietary choices. So I have used a word food environment. I know many who are already aware of this, but also there could be few whom we would reach today, and we would welcome any sets of questions that can be both in English, Bengali, or even in Hindi. We would try to address that. So there's a lot of picture even in the first page itself. A girl selling vegetables and fruits. There are certain farming going on here, and there are trucks, and there are people carrying foods. But we will come back to it later. Why? Generally, it is common to acknowledge the organization at the end of the lecture. But I would like to congratulate them in the beginning because when we talk about the context, I know it's a world of content creation, but we need to set a context. When I look into the WHO data, they are saying, there is a rise in diabetes and obesity. Though it's a diabetes related program, but we know these are all interconnected. It is not that there is not enough scientific evidence, it is not that there is not enough resources to manage our health, but sometimes we simply do not know. Sometimes science is happening in lab and people in real world are not really connected. So social media are powerful tool to address this gap. I would really like to congratulate day organization for bringing that change in a time when it is really needed. We know there are already lot of information, but all information related, are all information necessary? That also we need to find out. We have known about diabetes mellitus, or commonly we say ki sugar, we have higher level of blood sugar for a long time now, but science is not staying there. It is always evolving, it is finding out some new things, and it is definitely giving us some kind of headache. So when we started studying beyond this 13 years, when we were really student, we only studied about two kind of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. I think everybody knows about it. But then we slowly started learning about gestational diabetes. A mother during her pregnancy can face severe consequences of gestational diabetes. But now, when I'm teaching and I'm giving awareness program, now there are 5 types of diabetes. So we do not know. So hold your breath and be ready for some more forms, I think. But I'm not going to go in details about pathophysiology or the medical terminology. I would just say it can be created in any condition. You eat too much, you eat too less, you starve for days, you fast, you do not fast, you feast. No matter what you do, there is a certain chances that you may or may not have diabetes. So, and there are factors that is unknown to us, like we are stuck in a airport and we have no other way rather than consuming some kind of food that is just readily available. So how do we manage? We are talking about so many things, but a person is not just standing there. He or she has to move, go to work, take care of household things, take care of other agendas and happiness and some habits of life, and still they have to manage this in time. So there comes a little chance that can be help, can the science and the regulation based on the science can help a person to manage their disease management. So when we are talking about this day, and the term I used in my first slide, that food environment. So it's an age where we can see creation, we can see convenience. As I just said, what will happen that if we are stuck in airport? Obviously, there's a very lovely movie called Airport, but we did not see much of food. But if we are traveling, we see lot of product that we have to consume. Even as a speaker who would be knowing of food label and nutrition, we would not have much choices. So there comes the innovation. Can we innovate? But there's also a problem when we constantly create, constantly make food convenient, and also innovate. A lot of people would not know because innovators are few, consumer are many. So, but we need to create. I know this is a day and age where if we talk how scary it is to consume a packed food, that reel or that social media news or program would get much higher views. But I'm not going to say that. I do not, adhere to the idea. I would rather differ, because if you look into the data of food wastage, the amount we produce food and the amount we eat on a daily basis, it is not even near close. So a lot of food are wasted, and we all see it at time we take. Now cauliflower is so costly, but you will see after Saraswati Puja, we are just throwing it away. That's it. We find apple is very costly. We go into places, Himachal or Kashmir, we would see apple is throwing, just there thrown on a road, or by side on a drain or something like that. So something is there. So we have to create an environment where we can actually retain those nutritious food. We can pack them so that we can have it when we do not have apple in season. So that is there. So it's a one of the biggest purpose. The second purpose, and probably the reason why food label was actually was invented and was in practice, is migration. Because nobody is sitting in a place. We are not tree. We take food from tree, but we are not tree. So we are constantly moving. If we talk today, we are talking, I know even all Bengalis are not sitting in Bengal. All Delhiites are not sitting in Delhi. So it is like that. Even Indians are not sitting in India. So everywhere we go, we can go for work, we can go for travel, and you know how traveling is big these days. So everybody is traveling every weekend. So how do you carry your food? How do you manage your nutrition? It's just packed food. And then also talking about food distribution, we often miss those issues when we talk on social media. We do not include PDS system, or general terms we say ration. So when we give ration to a person, now it comes in packets, and what it ensures, the quality. You would say, we have seen traditional days where it would come in a big sack, and then they would distribute. But maybe there will be days when it will come in small pack, so that we can actually ensure how, when a person is supposed to get 500 grams of rice, he or she is receiving 500 grams of rice, because there is no chance of damaging that quality or quantity. And then we need to talk about natural calamities. Sadly, these days there is so much rainfall, so much flood, and what is the best way to ensure nutrition in a calamity affected area? It is via packaged food. And also innovation and variety, and nobody likes the same food. We talk about the comfort of same food, but when we eat it for 2 to 3 days, then we want something new. And sorry, Yes, I have kept the same pack of food. It's a sandwich packet, very commonly available nowadays in every cafe, every sweet shops and airport and railway station, and similar label. Why? Because it has all the factors that I said. Why we need this kind of packets? Also, what are the challenges? Challenges is it's a very recent advancement. So when I am talking about this kind of food, if I ask my father or my grandparents, they would be like, what is this kind of food? How is this even food? Leave it having a food. If I say you have to read this small letters, very fine line, and they will literally lose their mind. So the technicality, what it is written, why it is written, and for whom it is written, we do not know. Trust, few things we see. Sandwich, we can just, toast two breads and make it. They will be like, that's fine, same sandwich. But when we go for this, they will be like, what is actually inside? Because generally we take food with our five senses, that we smell, we see the color, we touch it, when we feel whether it's fresh or not. Packaging has removed that possibility of establishing your five senses with the food directly. So what do? We need to have something that would convey us the exact sense, flavor, freshness of the product without conceiving any fact, without concealing any kind of fact that we need to have when we are consuming a food. Because food is something that we cannot play around. We need to know, we need to understand, we need to trust. And sometimes experiment is fine once or twice, but when it is part of my daily life, when it is too much, we need to know. But there's also challenge, too many or too little. Like at this moment, I want to have something for Diwali guest, and if I go through all the label that I also will be seeing in future slides, it will be too much. I am in a rush to manage my guest. I do not want to see right now. But if somebody calls me and say, I have diabetes, so I cannot have anything which has sugar, or I am controlling my diet, can you have something, some healthier option for me? Then I need to look. So the purpose and my intention and my time should match food label. Do they match? So we would see presentation style, because one art is something of true value. The same art could be of, it's just something that we do not understand, we cannot perceive what it is. Similarly, presentation style, though it is made based on the popular ideas, popular choices, but it is not everybody's cup of tea. So the tailor-made thing. So few people like bigger fonts, few people like it smaller fonts, few people like it italic, and also few people like some information in the beginning. So a person very sensitive to his or her region, they may say, no, I want to eat everything that is made in Bengal. Someone might want to say, no, I want to try to the Marathi snacks tomorrow, or Tamil snacks, something like that. So it has, can it be that tailor-made? So we would like to see those. What are there? So this question, script or scripted, I just read, kept it intentionally, because it is like a script. When I'm telling in the earlier slide, it is like a script. There is a story inside the packet and we are just reading the script. But also there are a lot of questions, are these scripted, are they true, who is writing this, who is checking this? So there's a lot of questions. But before even beginning to answer those questions, we would like to tell you that it's very simple. Let's keep it simple, that anything printed on a packaged food is a food label. Okay, there are many definition, academic definition, will not go in details with that. It's just packaged food, and इसके ऊपर कुछ भी लिखा हुआ होगा, anything that comes with a packet food, it's a food label. There has to be few things that you cannot simply differ. You have to put it, that is, what is the brand name, what is the price, what are the manufacturing details, and also the expiry date or best before date, and then how it was made, which all products it was used, whether there was rice, there was wheat, there was millet, or anything, oil, sugar, salt, anything you have used, you have to write in the package. And also the nutrient information. It not just the, okay, I have put some rice, that is not enough. You have to tell how much rice is there, and also what amount of calorie, carbohydrate, fat, protein, sugar we are getting out of it. Now level is expanding, many people are putting many things like fortification, and there are sodium, there are magnesium. So as the world is moving, as we are finding newer diseases, newer problem, we are adding it to the label. And also there are symbols, which is very important. We know there's veg symbol, there are non-veg symbol, now there is also radiation symbol. And you would see, interestingly, you are buying something, suppose atta, you are buying atta, but you would see a picture of roti, because sometimes we need to tell the story. That's why I use the word script, because if you see raw instant noodles, but outside the food you would see the packed food, you would see the picture is in a bowl and a cooked instant noodle. So that's how you relate. Okay, if I buy this, I'm gonna have this. Until unless you do not know what you are going to eat, you cannot be excited. Like if it's a Sunday, you would go and ask your mom or father, what did you get from the market? What you are going to eat? We are going to restaurant. Which kinds of food we get, cuisine, and this Diwali, what we will make. So we all like to imagine, think about the cooked food. And also, there is one interesting thing, that is nutrition and health claim, because we all look for healthy food. Do you consume healthy food? That's a different question. Do we need to consume healthy foods? Yes. Healthier foods, when it is not available, healthy foods, especially in case of diabetes, any kind of NCD, obesity, hypertension, we need to look for healthier products. Now, a claim is not a fact. I'm not saying all claims are wrong, but I'm saying there's a fine line between what claims are given on a packet and what are the facts. So, claim is something that we say, like, I'm feeling very happy after drinking maybe 2 or 3 cups of tea. Now, I can tell my colleague, if you're not drinking tea, oh my God, you see, I'm drinking three cups a day, I'm feeling too good. Do we tell this or not? We generally tell it to people. It's a kind of claim. I'm not saying it is wrong. Maybe it is right. Claim is sometimes we base on an idea things we have. Maybe we have used ragi in our product and we think it has calcium. Okay, we can check IFCT data, Indian value. Okay, it has calcium. Now we write it will reduce your knee pain. So that is a claim. It may or may not reduce, because the knee pain can be from one accident. Somebody may have fallen down and they can get knee pain. So doesn't mean that food will reduce your knee pain. But sometimes if it's a calcium deficiency, we can have. But obviously, a packet is not an article or scientific journal that you can write so much. So there is a little leniency, I would say, or chance of creativity. So there is a chance of creativity, but if you are ever, you can bid that creativity and pay for what you exactly looking for. Okay. Sorry. I think this is the earlier slide. Yeah. So the purchase to plate. What is the role of label actually? So I've tried to give a pathway that we would take. So if you take the first thing, production practice. Now, if you remember, if we can go back to the first slide once again, see, there's market farming. So we have real soil, we have real plants, and from there we are taking it to a box. This box will become something that can be carried in this kind of truck. So when we have this kind of truck, or any form of farming, it's not just plant, it is also dairy farming, when you have cows and buffaloes, and you have fruits, everything, and that should be transported. Without transport, it just stays in the same place, and farmer cannot eat everything they make, and if they eat everything they make, will literally die. So we need to carry them around. So for carrying them around, we need to put it in a pack. But then when we are purchasing from this kind of places where you have a trolley, or you have a plastic holders, the shopping mall kind of environment, where we cannot find much of the real kind of fruits, very little, but most of the foods are in packets, so that we can just buy it and get it home. But when we come to home, what we do? We need to make that food into a properly cooked meal. So you can see the production practice. The next very important is the manufacturing practice. We need to check where it is made, because then we can get an idea of how it was made, which kind of ingredients you use. Maybe you have preference for certain kind of, you want to have apple only from Kashmir, and you want to have imli only from Tamil Nadu or Kerala. So all these kinds of things, we all have our personal choices and also biases. So we can check it. It also gives a clear indication of your own culinary practices, and every house, every person has a different practice. And then you can check for the ingredients and nutrient present. So this is a bit tidy, this is very difficult task. It is difficult if you do not know. If you know, then it is easier. You have to learn most of the fact. They say the value, calorific value, it's generally on 100 grams. So even it's a 500 grams packet, they will say in the weight section that this packet weigh 500 grams. But when it is calorie, so maybe it has written 75 calorie. We are like, oh wow, very nice. But you may forget to add into 5 times because it's a 500-gram packet. I would just ask Kajal, I'm showing a bottle. Is it visible in the camera?
Yes,
Uh,
yes, yes, ma'am.
okay, so if you see this bottle, I just wanted to give a live example. This is a very small, teeny tiny bottle, okay? And this does not even, qualify for a standard bottle to be given in a party, because when we have guests, we are generally very generous. We want to give very, more sweets than they can consume, more, amount of everything. So this is a very small bottle, and it has some jeera cold drinks type of thing. So it looks very tiny. You know how much sugar it has? In 100 gram, if I read it in very fine line. I cannot even explain. It is microscopic, but because of course I have done some work in food level, I could go through it, and I saw it is 11 gram of sugar. This amount of bottle, and you would be surprised. This is not even 100 grams. It's 160. So 11 plus half of 11, so it is almost 16 to 17 gram of sugar. So a person has not taken any sweet for the day or for the week, or doesn't drink tea or coffee with sugar, and having a very healthy diet, and then all of a sudden somebody is like, he or she will be like, this small amount, and you nutritionists are always telling don't eat, don't eat, don't eat. No, we are not saying that. We are just saying, please be aware. Are you aware that you are just having 16 grams of sugar, which is 4 big spoons in just one go? So can we have it better? Yes. The moment I learn that, I am going to put it down, because this is not my cup of tea. So, and also track the portion size and serving size. This is very important, because everybody is suffering with too much food these days. One reason, it's not that we want to eat more, it is just available, it is just there. There was a time when there was not so much variety of food, like you feel like, okay, I have to have a cup of coffee. So I was watching an old movie, and there was a very big jamindar kind of person. Then they said, please bring me a cup of coffee. So they actually had to take the coal and put it in the oven, that kind of oven, this made up of mud and everything. And then by the time the water is boiling, I am feeling irritated on this other side of screen. I'm like, oh my god, this long used to take to make a cup of coffee. Yes, now it will take only 2 to 3 minutes, and it is not even that much. If I can just go and put it in microwave, or in the gas, it just doesn't take any time. It's just thinking and making it available. So sometime it's just the convenience, and also too much of travel, of course. Social life, we have all this. So until unless you start tracking your portion size and serving size, so sometimes we say, okay, let us bring some chips into the picture. So I prefer not to eat chips, because I know the nutrition level there. So if you bring a packet of chips, and you would say it's very high calorie, and if you go and tell the company will say, oh my god, you didn't read the label, because it's clearly written it's for 4%, and here you are blaming, you are putting only air and not chips enough. So I think we can all relate. So just go and check the serving size, please. And verify claims. If it is visible, the picture, and anybody wants this PPT, please can just ask me, write me. I'll be very happy to share. So verify claims. We all have this, natural product, 100% organic, healthy. Everything is there. But are they really that? So you need to go through this process. But do you have to do it every day? No, because it is like learning ABC when we were very young. So we would learn A B C A P P L E apple, but now we can read paragraphs, or we can even read a 200 pages book in one sitting, because our eyes are trained. So we have to train our eye, and we have to also train ourselves how to pick up food. Once you have done that, it's pain only for few days, 3-4 days. Think like a crash course. Take a 7-day course and just do it. Read every biscuit packet available in your home. Read all the atta, the favorite atta of India right now today. I'm not telling the brand name, and you can just check instant noodles, instant coffee, any packet you have before throwing it in the dustbin, and please recycle. All the package will also have recycle symbol, although that doesn't come under food label, but I would just like to mention that because in future all the food label will come with, it will also have a score for environment, because it then we will not only see a health index, we will also see environment index. For 1 kilo of this rice, so much liter of water was consumed. So we have to be very, very careful even before wasting a single grain. And then we have an interesting idea where you can actually engage with the manufacturer. Just the thing that I was telling in the beginning, that today itself the entire social media is flooded with the news that a person, doctor from Hyderabad, she has won a long battle of 8 years, saying you cannot have ORS like words in other sugary product, like just now I saw in the video. So if you see this, no, I just saw this is 16 gram of sugar, it's not required. I can write to them, see, this is too sweet, we don't need it. Our palates are now used to lower amount of sweet. Sometimes they fear they will lose customer because it is a business for them, but it is health for us. So we can write to them, we can also tell them options, please reduce this and we'll have this kind of flavor. We can have mint flavor, we can have lemon flavor, and then we won't need this much amount of sugar. So it's written, the mail and everything can be done. If you are on Instagram and other places, there's a food farmer who is very famous, is saying ki label parega India. So that person has made some impact. So if we all write to people, write to the company saying that we would adjust with little lower salt, little lower sugar, they are bound to change. So that is the power, that every pack comes with actually, generally how we buy fruits, we go and ask, is the fruit sweet? Meetha hoga na bhaiya? Amta to mishti na? We all ask this question. So and we also kind of scare them. Agar sweet nahi hoga na, to kal aake main wapas de dungi. But do we go back? We tell, as Bengali, we tell every fish market person, say, bhaiya, ye dada machta fresh na? We ask them and then we get it home, and we don't even like, and we say, I remember when I was very young, I used to go with my mother or my father to the market, and then I used to see that my mother said, রান্না করার পরে খারাপ হলেও আমি তোমাকে দিয়ে যাব, but do we ever go back? We never go back to the vendor. It is not just feasible, and also humanity stops are going back to a small farmer and fighting. But here it gives an opportunity to directly write to them and tell them no. And now can one person make change? Maybe this doctor has done it, but at least if we write, if they get 1,000 mails, they are bound to check. Now, this is the place which I would like to talk about, is digital diet. And no, 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 please don't think I am going to fight against somebody who's promoting some form of diet digitally. I am not going to say that. I'm going to say that digital literacy is very new. We are all learning mobile phone and computer, everything. But people, imagine my father who used to purchase things from grocery. Now I have learned this digital shopping, all these apps and everything. I would go and say, why you are wasting your time and carrying all these big bags? Why don't you just go there, click rice, and you will get rice, and see how beautifully cooked product images is. You are already feeling hungry. You don't even want to listen to this lecture. You want to just go and make pulao, isn't it? So it is written aged up to 2 years and elongated up to 200 m, and then most versatile, gluten free. Now this is the claim I was talking, they take leniency. Why should you write gluten free? I have no idea. This is rice, it is gluten free. And then also they have write medium GI. Nobody will go up to that level until few people like us, because most of the people GI would not matter. But you see, the convenience is 18 minutes. So by the time my water is boiling, I can just get the rice done, and it will take only 2 to 3 minutes to cook this basmati. So my food preparation is very easy, and it is supposed to be now, because otherwise it is difficult to manage the life. But if you check, if you click on rice, or if you see this tur dal, it's not just dal. You see how there are mountains, there are trees, and there are birds flying. it's written also rich in fiber, and then there is muscle. Now with this today's age, everybody wants some protein and some muscle. So all your criteria is fulfilled, but you may have learned till there. It is very difficult for a person, and people who are newly using phone, even for us in a busy day, if you just scroll it, we are very active, and in Facebook or Instagram the scrolling comes very easy. But here the scrolling is not like this, it is like this. So you have to actually move from this side to that side to find this right hand side where you will actually get this nutrition information. But you imagine, so this is your basmati cooked picture, and this is our nutrition boarding food labeling. Who will read it? I will also not read it. So people do not have nutrition literacy, so they do not have the impact to actually go there. So I would thank again this organization to create this place so that we can talk about these issues, and I hope at least 1 or 2% listens to this, and also takes that time to reach back to us and talk to us and learn, because every person changing is actually a better India. So nutrition literacy. So if we have given digital literacy, so we may even conduct a survey how many people are ordering here and how many people are actually going to this place, taking the time and pain and effort to actually come here. And then of course time. So everywhere you go, just 18 minutes, you need at least 2 minutes at least for the first time purchase consumer, that to read this. They were like, okay, I am not going to do that. So you see, there is serving size 30 gram, and but the calorie is in 100 grams. So will you start doing class 5 maths? No, we have passed the stage. So you need to train yourself so that you don't need to calculate it without pen and paper. You can just have a mind calculation and it will be faster. So the time is a bigger issue. So all the effort they have given is to put that time in every damn place they can. Now the brand trust and brand positioning. So I will tell a very nice story about a brand trust. So that other day I was talking to a person. She comes to our house, she cooks, and she is not Bengali. So I was trying to tell her some kind of recipes to her so that she can make. Now I am a person who doesn't know how to cook, but I know the recipe. So I was telling her, she cooked everything, and I forget to mention green chili. So I thought it is given. Everybody knows that we eat. We add some kind of chilies, green chilies, red chilies, whatever it is, if it is a proper curry or anything. So then I asked, you, well, there's been 2 days I'm asking you, but you are not adding chilies. Why? So then she said, Mama, you have not told me to add chilies. I'm like, but that is given. No, because see, it is just perception. For me, it is given that people will add, and anybody would add chili in the Indian curry. So she said, but I don't use it. I said, then how do you cook your food? They said, because I have small children at home, I do not use chili. I said, but then you, even adults are also eating like this. Generally what we do is we separate the kids food. They said, yes, because I add masala. I said, what kind of masala? So the the favorite brand of instant noodles had some instant masala that's are promoted as cooking friendly masalas. So they trust the brand so much. She she is illiterate. She knows nothing. She cannot read. She is still aware that she doesn't want to give some chili to her children, but she is adding that masala so that they can have a tasty food. But she has no idea what that masala is made of. I'm not saying again it is good or bad, but imagine that trust which has made her shift from an age-old practice that we add some chilies, and little bit of chilies will not harm anybody until it's like just infant or something, and they are not infant, they are like high school goers, and she's not adding. So that kind of brand trust there are there. So it is not wrong. Of course, even in a small shop, you go and first time you buy a fruit, it's very nice fruit, you would go back to the same brand, same shop, it's also brand, same person also, the clothing and everything, we do it by trust. But there comes our initiation, or our, I would say, responsibility to go and tell them that it is not necessary that one brand will make everything right. And in the brand there are several products, and not all are made for daily consumption. So that kind of awareness, that kind of talk we are supposed to have. So regulation versus real world. So I would would apologize if somebody finds, most of the studies we have used from our own group, that is intentional, because often we in science, we, share too much about international data, and most of our real people's word left behind, because we do not share that much of our own work. So I thought I would take the scope and also you know show what kind of perception, thinking, knowledge is associated with the real people. So this study was done in 2014. Of course, I am one of the authors. So we say read before you eat. Whatever you are eating, please read. So when, but end of the study, what we saw, I know it's a very small fine letters, but you can just see there are highlighted two words, that is brand. So up to 92% of our study participants, they mostly rely on brand. So you can, go back and relate to the study just I finished telling. That person has once developed some kind of trust or convenience or taste bud for that kind of brand, and for other kind of products also, other kind of culinary practices also, they are simply purchasing anything that brand releases. So there comes a real challenge, that how do we tell them, you have to check product wise, not just brand wise. Brand is fine, also you need to see the nutrient information. The research focus. So I know many people think that label is a very new thing. It is not. That's why I have even kept this. A paper submitted in 2013 and published probably 2013, end of 2014. So this was done in two different cities. And when we asked, what do urban consumer, that time it was not very, relevant in villages. But of course, we'll come to the village level study also in the later phases. So even then, they said they had similar kind of perception, exactly what we are seeing in today's days. It is 2014 paper, that I like protein. I like protein for bodybuilding. It's not new trend, okay? So because they are good for health, and they would be like, we would take that. So this kind of thing is there in every kind of mentality. And also they say we do not know much about nutrition label, but if it is written it's good for diabetes, I will buy for my father. So people are, people want to be considerate, but because of those factors that we do not talk about it often, we do not prioritize talking about the packet before food. We are just saying eat this, eat that, you remove this, remove that, but we are not giving them enough assistance or enough skill so that they can actually read and make a healthier choice. So all of them, all the studies they have done, they have seen that claim is actually a useful source as a decision making. So because claim comes in the front of that, and all the small letter numbers that goes in the back, so it always like that. So you see a dress, and then you see, wow, such category, such perfection, such jelly, everything. And if you see the price, you have to actually go back, find out the small tag and see the price. But this is not the fashion. If it is beginning, it is written 10,000, we would not even go and appreciate the curry. So we would appreciate the curry and go and see the price. So that's why the whatever is the fund, we generally take that as a important source of information to make a decision. So we need better claims, but we also need scientific validation. So where there it is coming new kind of label which should be in front, and also it will decode the message, all the information it was coming in behind. So this is our latest study, as you already told in the beginning. And actually, we are very lucky to have included a lot of villages across the country. It is not just Bengal, not Hyderabad, not Delhi. So we have gone to several regions, Assam, Pune, and we have done a multi-centric study. So this is a small, side picture, and here we went to a village household, and very interesting findings. So everywhere in the city, on the urban area we were going, we were asking, where do you want to see your level? If if salt is high, how do you want to mark it? They all say red. Too much salt is not good. Everybody said if salt is there, make it red. Salt red. If there is too much salt, mark it. Only 1 star or 2 star, something like that. So they are a small village, and the person sells pani puri. Okay. So we asked them, if that is too much salt, what will you rate it? He said 5 star, or put it in green. It's good. Then we were staring at him and we were like, why? He said, because it's so dry and so humid sometime and we are sweating, we need to have salt. So perception. Sometime when we are just reading the regulation, we think, okay, all high fat, salt, sugar products are bad. May not be necessary. The thing I told in the beginning, it tailor made. So who is looking at the label, they should be able to decide. So now this Nutri-Score or nutrient rating studies are coming up. I think the label would also soon be released. So we will actually have, it is a also there, I believe, in some European countries. So we will have some kind of symbols that is in the pack, and this is already published. So I have given the proper citation everywhere. Anybody interested, please go and check the sources. Then these are there, and they actually preferred something that will have in the beginning, so kind of health star rating or Nutri-Score, so that it's easier. We do not have to read the label. Still, you need to read it first few days, and then you can just shift to the this kind of symbols. There are also warning labels. Some warning is okay, some warning is not really necessary. Like that I said, it's a rice product, writing gluten, it is sometimes too much information. We have food, we also have information, but are all necessary? No. Some innovation is not necessary, some innovation are still required. And if I do not talk about artificial intelligence, I know you will start questioning my intelligence. So, following not just that trend, one also a future. So, as I said, we have too many products because sometimes we do not know. We just talk about health as it one single parameter. It is not a one single parameter. It is not just obesity. It is not just diabetes. It is too many things. And health could mean something else for different person. That's why we have added the WHO has added social health, WHO has did spiritual health. It's all part of the your mental setup. So you can be like, no, I want kheer or paris or my tea with sugar, and that would give me peace. Okay, fine. So that where we have to make a judgment based on where the person is, not only where the science is. Definitely, until it is something, COVID virus, we need to stop, we need to tell everybody to put a mask. But if it is 1 cup with sugar, we have to tell, should we go and disturb this person? He is not harming anybody, he is not telling anybody anything, he's just minding his own life, managing his work with a tea with a little bit of sugar. So we have to be mindful about those things. So there are linear programming available, and there are amazing papers available also. So I have also given some citation here. So if we do this in specific population, we would find out exactly what is needed. So maybe you go into a small village in Mushidabad or Malda, and you ask, take the diet survey, and you use this program, you may find out that only selenium and iodine is missing, rest of the products are there. So we do not need to bombard them with newer products. Everything is kind of like, we have bread. So if you write bread, it can be roti, it can be naan, it can be anything, and then different flavors of bread. Maybe it is not even required. But then we may require iodine and selenium, that is not available there, because we are not sometimes using exact optimization tool. Sometimes it is just overall perception that this country needs protein. So every food product in the market is protein rich. But maybe there are communities who are already eating rich protein diet. They do not need. They may need something that will help them to absorb that protein better. So if we use this kind of technology added with artificial intelligence, what will they do? Because general understanding, when we perceive and we make, sometimes we miss this fine lining. Also, it takes lot of time, but health can decrease fast, very fast. So if we have all the data, we can take the formulation, we can use this predict properties. Those who are good with this, they would know. I do not know, but I read this paper, and I would request anybody interested in food and AI, please go and read this paper, because it's a wonderfully written and so many wonderful diagram. It's just not good in science, it's also good in aesthetics. So please give it a read. So then we can find out some best pair taste and flavor and nutrition. So those nutrition data has to come from certain kind of program which would say exactly here it is required. Please let me know if I am exceeding the time. But with all the information I told so far, where we have come? We have come to a very significant stop where in 2024, the new guideline of our nation has actually included food label. I think it is one of the rarest place on earth where national dietary guideline has food label, so you can understand the importance, and you can also understand as a nutritionist, as an academician, or even our health enthusiast, whatever you call yourself, to learn about packet, demystify packet, and encourage other to read the packet. So here I think I should stop for further query. I'm very much available also obviously in social media. Either you can write to me, you can message me on LinkedIn. So thank you.